Well, he's now played 2 Speed Chess Championship matches, and he has won 2 Speed Chess Championship matches. Grandmaster Hans Niemann defeats Wesley So in convincing fashion to book his ticket to Paris, where he will join 3 other semifinalists, including Alireza Firouzja. Hans, it's been such a long day of chess for you. You must be exhausted, so really appreciate you joining us for a quick interview. What's going through your head right now other than get me away from here so I can sleep before tomorrow's games against Anish?
No, today was a lot of fun. I think it was actually good that I played these games against Anish because it was just a huge confidence boost, and they have sort of similar styles. So no, I'm very happy with this schedule. Obviously, I do have a classical game in 9 hours, and then well, 6 classical games in the next 3 days, all starting at 10 a.m. So I will enjoy. I don't think I will struggle to sleep now. But no, I'm very happy to be in Paris. I'm even happier that chess.com sent 2 proctors for both my matches. So I don't expect any set people. So I'm glad to show my best chess against on the highest sort of online stage.
Well, I want to give you the floor to kind of share your unfiltered thoughts on that. But first, first things first. Question about your match against Wesley. It was basically a wire-to-wire victory. You won the first game. There was that brief comeback attempt he made with 2 victories, but you had some incredible comebacks, some saves. You turned some games around and won them. What do you think was the single deciding factor, and at what point in the match did you feel like you had Wesley where you wanted him?
Yeah, it was obviously I think I had a 2 point lead for a very long time. Um, and then I extended it to 3 right before the 1+1, and there I felt very confident. I don't know. I feel like after um, the 5+1, when I was beating him, was really quite dominant. There were some more, let's say, unstable, chaotic games, but when I was up playing him, it was really quite dominant. So I think that he was just sort of tilted. And this match, I was actually watching his camera, and the MVL match, I just didn't check it, and seeing his camera and seeing his expressions after every mistake really boosted my confidence. And obviously, this is my first time competing, so one might not, obviously, as confident as I might am, it's not like expected to make it to Paris. But I think my confidence sort of grew, and whenever I have confidence and things are flowing, usually it's a recipe for good results.
That's reasonable enough. I have 2 sort of spicier questions, and please, feel free to say as much or as little as you'd like. Obviously, you have a lot of complex thoughts on these issues. First of all, as you yourself alluded to, you're playing with a proctor in the room. Now, I can say firsthand, no matter if it's a close friend or your mom or a proctor, it's just harder to play with someone in the room. So you're under observation during the games. And obviously, there's still a lot of people in the chat who cast aspersions on the honesty of your play. If you could kind of send those people a message and share your perspective on what it's like to play with a proctor and your thoughts on the situation in general, what would that message be?
Well, my opponent's playing with a proctor, so it's sort of a fair environment. Perhaps he's affected more than I am, or I'm affected more than him. Obviously, it's not pleasant, but the I think the most important thing people should understand is that I'm one of the best players in the world. I've proven that time and time again. Unfortunately, chess.com defamed and lied about the extent of my online cheating, and they continue to sort of lie and not explain why they banned me uh, during the Sinkled Cup. Like, I'm still waiting for an answer about why on September 5th, right after I win a game, that I was suddenly banned. So they haven't really answered that. So I think that chess.com is to blame for a lot of the um, false accusations because I've literally just beaten 2 of the best players in the world with a proctor, with every single thing. So we don't understand how any performance that I could ever have in the rest of my career uh, could not be sort of explainable because it's like I'm playing like as literally one of the best players in the world. Like to beat MVL and to beat Wesley is literally like there are very few players in the world who could do it in the fashion that I just did. So I hope that people could understand that I'm one of the best players in the world, and I'm going to continue. to improve. And unfortunately, the chess.com sort of monopoly and mafia defame my reputation. But I'm letting the chess speak for itself, and I think that throughout my entire chess career, it'll become abundantly clear that I deserve an apology. But I'm not a victim, so I don't need an apology. My vengeance will be victory on the chessboard.
Let me ask you now about your trip to Paris and a potential matchup against Magnus. Obviously, a lot has happened in Astana. You've got a lot of thoughts about this. Of course, first of all, no disrespect to Arjun. This will be a very difficult match for Magnus, but he is the heavy favorite. And if he were to deliver and become another semifinalist, you are slated to face off against Magnus in Paris. So, could you offer your thoughts on your stance on Magnus in general and how much you're motivated by a matchup against him? To what degree does that drive you to improve? And what is your sort of current stance on Magnus and what he thinks about you?
Well, to be honest, the only thing that I'm concerned with is playing the best chess in the world, and that's what I've done in these past two matches. And um, with regards to a matchup, you know, uh, I don't understand how the chess world has become so distorted and so incapable of understanding reality. The reality is that if you assess my over-the-board chess, there's never been a shred of evidence of ever any over-the-board cheating. Every single organization, including the most corrupt ones like Chess.com, have proven that I have been innocent. And the only reason that I was defamed and attacked was because someone had threw a hissy fit and acted on a personal vendetta to ruin my career. And despite the sort of media attacks and the PR moves, um, that has happened. But for me, uh, I have absolutely, in my eyes, this is only about proving to myself that I can overcome the greatest obstacle in the world, which is this sort of evil chess mafia, which is working against me. And I don't mean to say this as a lightly, like it's just for me, it's hard to even take those questions seriously because I find the sort of chess establishment to be so just insane. Like I don't understand how when you're a 19-year-old kid, you can be united against by the entire chess establishment, be proven innocent time and time again, and still have your career attacked and destroyed and blacklisted. It's like for me, I simply don't even look at these people. They're not even for me, they've sort of degraded themselves morally by trying to destroy my life so much that I don't even take them seriously. So I'm looking forward to playing Paris, and this entire thing started on a chess game, and it should end on the chessboard. Because what happened was that after I won the chess game, all of these people tried to literally ruin my chess career. They banned me from chess.com. They were literally removed any opportunity for me to prove myself on the chessboard. So if you don't want to, so all these things are saying about having a chessboard. Why was I banned on chess.com? Why am I not getting invitations to tournaments? And now you're seeing that this is my first opportunity to play against the best players in the world. And what have I done? I've just had an amazing performance. So my motivation, is intrinsic, but it's also to show the world that even when a complete and evil monopoly is trying to ruin your career, that if you stick to the truth, you have morals, and you fight, then victory is inevitable. And while at this moment they may have painted me in this light of this evil, oh, this, that, but history will look back on things a very, very different way because it's simply so insane to fathom any circumstance where, considering even this performance today, that I am not a legitimate player and one of the best players in the world. And I really just hope the chess sort of establishment, including chess.com, including FIDE, including Hikaru and Magnus, stop being babies and let me play, handle things on the chessboard. And I assure you that that's going to be the most sort of least cowardly way to handle things instead of just you know using lies and manipulation and to ruin my career.
So I want to clarify your stance on one thing, and obviously, no logically minded chess fan or chess player can possibly believe that you haven't proven your worth over the board and in conditions where it is literally impossible to cheat. I think that's not up for dispute. But again, this is a spicier question, so please feel free to avoid it if there are any legal considerations that you want to keep in mind. But can I get your sort of clear stance? Because from what you just said, you believe that you were unfairly banned. Obviously, I'm not asking you to summarize the entire Sinkfield Magnus situation, but in some of the interviews subsequently, you confessed to doing something to fair play violations long time ago, many years ago, and you pushed back very strongly, as far as I understand, on the chess.com report and on Magnus's behavior surrounding St. Louis. If you had to summarize, first of all, your record on your online play, and second of all, exactly what you take issue with the most in terms of Magnus's behavior and chess.com's behavior, could you set that
Well,
record straight?
if you want to go to the chess.com report, there's a couple of things, right? First of all, on a phone call, Daniel Wrench told me himself, and I quote, "I know you never cheated while streaming," and it's a quote. And the thing is, I know that he said that to me, and I don't think I could sleep at night if I said that to someone, and then I went out to report, and I just blatantly lied about a 19-year-old kid and just destroyed his entire reputation. So the chess.com report is just insane. First, we can start with the Pro Chess League. They accused me of cheating in the Pro Chess League. First of all, every single one of those matches was streamed. That accusation of the Pro Chess League only magically appeared when I beat Magnus. All of these other accusations of cheating in prize money tournaments, other than I was 12 years old in 2015, also magically appeared. They have no records of any sort of. They say that I admit to these things when they have no records of the specifics of what I admit to. They even say themselves that since my ban, I never cheated, but then they banned me right after that. They they have said, according to them, since they banned me, I've never cheated. Why was I cheated the day that they're involved in a merger? So, chess.com really just has no sort of moral or ethical grounds to stand on because you can't explain buying a company for $82 million and then banning me, not providing a reason. Like they said that I didn't cheat again. So according to them, even their deluded lies, there's no logic. And with regards to Magnus, it's like this is not even a. There's no debate here, unfortunately. The chess.com report is just lies. And Danny, I don't mean to put you in hot water here, but I saw an interview in the New York Magazine, and there was a quote from a player who said that, and oh, I played against Hans, and he messaged me not admitting, saying that he didn't cheat. And obviously that was you because I can tell based on our conversations. And Danya, in this article, which is an anonymous source, maybe you want to admit if it was you, you said that you looked at the games that chess.com accused me of cheating in, and you weren't even sure that I cheated. So it speaks volumes that
I stand by that
some of these
completely.
tournaments.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Hans.
Well, it just speaks volumes that if you look at these games, it's just so insane of the tournaments that they accuse me of cheating in. It's so like inexplicable and doesn't make any sense. Like for example, according to them, the Pro Chess League. So if they believe that there was consistent cheating in Pro Chess League, why was it not banned? Like why? It's like it makes how are you competing in the Pro Chess League? And then like they say that there's cheating, but then why was I removed from the tournament if there was cheating? Like, why do these suddenly serious accusations only suddenly just magically appear when they need some reason to destroy my career? Magically appear when there's a merger. So in reality, you can't even take this seriously. Like, so Tanya, I'd ask you, I understand you work for chess.com, but the funniest thing is this match we played, I was streaming this match. And
Mm-hmm.
in all these games it's just unfortunately chess.com has lost all credibility after this chess.com report. Because there are so many logical fallacies. The worst thing about it all is you have Danny Ranch, who is the CEO of chess.com, and he said to me on the call, he said, "We know you never cheated while streaming." It's a direct quote. I can hear that voice in my head 100 times. And he said this. And the worst part is that he knows he said this. And despite him saying this, and despite him knowingly lied, chess.com, a multi-billion-dollar company, decided to destroy a 19-year-old kid's career because someone got upset. That is like the reality. In terms of overboard cheating, there's never been any doubt. There have never been any accusations. Not accusations. There's never been any evidence. It's been complete fabrication. FIDE has shown that. Chess.com has shown that. Every single expert has done that. So, in reality, I would hope that people wake up and stop sort of accusing me, and start to sort of give me the opportunities I deserve, so that I can, show people how good I am.
So to be clear, just on that article, obviously I'm not an anti-cheating expert, so I basically said what I thought. I did look at the games. I personally did not see anything suspicious, but at the same time, I'm a commentator. I know very little about the algorithm, so I'll kind of
So
recuse
you've
myself.
never consulted chess.com on fair play, Daniel?
I definitely have, and in most cases, I've been satisfied with their conclusions. But
But in this
I
case,
mean, I
unfortunately
guess
not. But yeah, but I appreciate the openness of this discussion. It's very surprising for me. But the reality is you should just dinner wrench. Did you tell me that you knew that I never cheat while streaming? And if you take away that, every single prize money event just disappears, and it's like magic. And suddenly, it's everything that they're accusing me of really makes no sense. And I was just, a stupid kid doing stupid things, but never an over the board. And this is just, it's the reality. And that's what makes me disappointed about the chess world because it's completely lost faith in the ethics of the chess world because every single person was complicit in the destruction of my career. And so you could say that I'm very motivated to settle things. But
if
I,
I
of
may,
course,
and sorry to interrupt you, Hans. I'll give you the floor. Um, just wanted to kind of put another thought out there for your consideration. And again, I don't think this. I kind of want to take the shoes of someone who will try their best to push back on what you just said. In some of the interviews after the Magnus game, you confessed to cheating when you were 12 or 13 or whatever, and I'll give you a chance to set the record straight. What is your message to someone who basically says, well, chess.com gave Hans a second chance after that initial cheating, and so why should he get kind of the benefit of the doubt in this situation? Can you set the record straight on exactly sort of how many times you've committed fair play violations, and can you
sure.
argue
So
your position on why that stance is wrong in your opinion?
well, to make it clear, when it comes to sort of prize money events, what I have discussed before is there was an incident when I was, I believe, 12 or maybe 13. I think it was in August, maybe after my birthday. And that I've discussed in the Piers Morgan interview. And other than that, there were instances, but there was no prize money on the line. It was minimal. And the thing that I take issue with Chess.com the most is that they've tried to paint the fact that I've won money and that I have profited from cheating, which is just not the truth. I never cheated while streaming. I never cheated in prize money tournaments. And let's keep in mind, I was a kid. I was a minor. And the reality is that when you're a kid, you make mistakes. And I regret it so much. It is my biggest regret in my life. But even when I became sort of 15, 16 years old, the idea of cheating in a prize money event, and even the idea of cheating now, is so far out of my head, it would be the equivalent of suicide for me. Like to cheat would be like the complete degradation of my character and my life. And at this point, it's so annoying to see these accusations because I never even considered it. It's not even something that crossed my mind. Like, oh, how could I do it? So the reality is I was a kid. I made mistakes. I admit to those mistakes, not what Chess.com accused me of, which they lied. I suffered a 6-month ban from prize money tournaments, and that happened. I was a kid. I made mistakes. I would hope that I could move on with my life. And the only reason that these childhood mistakes were brought back was not because they were trying to stop me from cheating. It was because there was a vendetta against me and a coordinated sort of effort to ruin my career. There are so many young, talented players who have cheated online. Why aren't their names released?
Mhm.
You know who they are, Daniel. You've been a consultant to Chess.com. I'm sure you've seen the list. You've seen the names. How
I'm
many
not involved in
22-year-olds
anti-cheating,
players?
but that's
No, but
indisputably
okay,
title
listen,
players
listen.
have cheated.
We're having
Kids and adults who are title players have cheated, and
no,
there's
but
no question that that is
and
the case.
there are young top players who cheat online. There's many grandmasters who cheat online. If Chess.com cared so much, or Magnus or Hikaru cared so much about not playing players who had cheated online, then they wouldn't play them over the board because there are numerous players who have been banned online and they play them over the board. So they're masquerading their literal attempted destruction of my career, and they're pretending like it's to protect chess and to protect cheating, when in reality, this is a sick personal vendetta by absolutely deluded people with no ethics and no morals.
What do you think?
So,
Final. Go ahead.
no, but the thing is if chess.com wants to, like, I served my ban, I made a mistake, what? Like, why did that only become relevant when I beat their new brand ambassador? If you guys want to understand why things happened, you look at the timing. So I was
Why,
banned for 6
why do
months.
you think
Then
Magnus? Why do you think Magnus dislikes you? What do you think is in it
I
for
think he is a
Magnus?
sick, deluded person who wanted to destroy my life. And he did this out of just a pure vendetta. There's no reason why someone would go to such lengths to destroy my life. It's truly sick. I don't understand how people have zero empathy for what happened to me. It's truly terrible, because in reality, I was a victim in this. I was not the aggressor. I did not cause any of this. All I did was win a chess game. And what I experienced was hell, absolute hell. My name, everything was and for what? Because when I was, 12, 13-year-old kid, I won $100. Is that really like why I should be accused of things I didn't do? So the reality, the undisputable facts, is sort of chess.com lied in the chess.com report. I've never cheated over the board. There's no evidence of that. I've just showed how good I am. I don't understand how you can't reach the conclusion that chess.com, Magnus, Hikaru, and the entire chess.com streamers all colluded to destroy my life. Not because they believed I was a cheater, but because they had a financial vested interest with each other. And some people exerted their power in ways. And Danya, in reality, you've experienced ways that chess.com has abused their power. We all remember Chess Bay and Hikaru and all these things. You've written your manifestos. You understand how ridiculous the chess world is, and how chess.com can abuse their power, and how people like me who fight up for truth. It's honestly funny, because in the entire time I've actually fought for the truth, while people have branded me as something. But in this entire time, I've stood by the truth. I've stood by principles, and I'm sure that in due time I'll be rewarded.
Well, I really appreciate your honesty. Obviously, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. I've always tried to be honest with my thoughts regarding the Magnus incident against you in the Singfield Cup. And just one final question to tie it up. If you had the chance to have an on-air, and this is coming from me, I'm not put up to ask this question. If you could speak to Magnus on air, and let's say Danny, Magnus, and you had the chance to be on a call together and to have an honest conversation where all of the information was exposed, your perspective, Magnus's perspective, chess.com perspective, would you be comfortable with such a call? Do you feel like you have nothing to hide to such a degree that you would be comfortable talking to both of them on air? And are you interested in improving your relationship, or do you feel like the abuses that they've committed against you will harm your stance toward chess.com and Magnus for the rest of your life?
I'm gonna say this respectfully, Danya. I understand that
Please.
you were in you work for chess.com, and I don't want you to lose your job. But
don't worry
the
about me.
unfortunate
Just speak your mind.
The unfortunate reality is that these people did such heinous things to me that honestly, I see them I see the relationship, and I see them as people. It's so irreconcilable that it is so beyond repair, because it was truly sick what they did. Imagine you are 19 years old and you have the greatest victory of your life, and you reach the top stage, and a multi-billion-dollar company, in combination with a company about to merge, and all the most powerful players accuse you of something you didn't do. And imagine it was impossible for you to prove your innocence, despite it being abundantly obvious. And imagine, Daniel, like how you would feel if they continuously attacked you. So please think about it. Put yourself in my shoes, and being a 19-year-old kid.
Accusing me of cheating right now, as
Yes,
recently
but
as yesterday.
does that affect your life? Do you understand that I was literally branded as a cheater in all of the news when I didn't cheat? Do you understand all of this anal beads, all of this? Do you understand that I go outside and I have to live with this insane label of something that I didn't do? And do you understand when you have reporters calling, your family, trying to get the latest scoop on you? You have reporters calling friends from 13 years old to try and find something. It's impossible for someone to comprehend the insanity of what they unleashed upon me without experiencing it yourself. But what it makes me realize is that there are truly sick, evil people in the world, and that has given me the ultimate faith that I must defeat them. And I've defeated them on the chessboard. and I'm going to continue to defeat them on the chessboard. And these people their head is so far up their ass that they could not admit any fault. Like, what is Chess.com going to say? Oh yeah, we lied in our Chess.com report. Are they going to admit that ever? That would, come on. Or like, they went so far and they lied so much that there's simply no way to even like talk, right? There's not even way. How do you even speak to someone who like just lies, blatantly lies, and then just uses all of their like resources and money and power to just destroy your life? Like, there's no discussion to be had.
That's fair enough. I mean, just to be clear, Hans, I'm speaking the truth when I say that I'm not on the anti-cheating team, and I have zero insight into the algorithm. Just like I was not responsible for the VSU ban and did not initiate that. So
well, that's another great thing, because I don't know.
Yeah.
The thing is that, like, why was he banned? I really would love to know. I don't understand.
Well,
I would love for Daniel.
Hans,
I have an
I
offer
think the
for you.
games
I will sponsor a match of you against Brandon Jacobson, and if you beat him in an over-the-board match under any circumstances,
with A4 Rook A3 on every game.
Sorry,
with A4 Rook A3 every game.
A4. Okay, to recreate that with your preparation is impossible. But you can.
I haven't looked at the line for more than 5 minutes, Hans. I think the issue was not the fact that
no. I saw the games you played. You looked at the line, but the thing is, Daniel, is that Brandon, as you just saw, beat Proctoring, and I'm sorry, Brandon's a very, very strong player, and I simply have no faith.
That's the first thing I conceded. I mean, sorry? I don't think any honest person is arguing that he's an absolute beast, and whether or not he cheated against me, I wish him and you, of course, the best in his chess career. But surely, A4 Rook A3 is a slight complicating factor in any match. But I don't want to change topics, and I want to let you sleep. Go ahead.
Go to conditions that would let you test his strength under any circumstance, and I will sponsor and organize it. And if it is unsatisfactory based on the terms we agree, I will donate $10,000 to charity. Because instead of him being banned and Chess.com not replying to his emails for months, why don't we organize a match just like Jocelyn Minikar did and settle things on the chessboard? Let's not just ignore people and ban them and not actually discuss things. So I will donate 10 grand to charity of your choice. We can agree on the terms, and you can see Brandon's level. We can play 500 games. We can play 100 games, 200 games. Why don't we go over the board? You can even do it on the computer, but you can do any experiment you'd like. Any experiment you'd like.
But Brandon's strength is not disputed by anybody other than haters, and I object to them just as strongly, whether he cheated or not. Surely, as a serious player, Hans, you can understand that starting a game with a -3 position and winning a match by 30 at least is grounds for discussion. Winning a regular match.
No, I think it's grounds for discussion. But I watched the game. I looked at the games, Danya, and they were really nothing that impressive. And we are all victims of tilt. And I really think that the due process of Chess.com, and I'm speaking of my experience, I was banned on September 5th or whatever it was, and Chess.com has not given a reason. They've not said we banned him because of this instance or that instance. They banned me during a merger at this time. So like, to me, I don't understand how you can take Chess.com seriously in any respect when they just blatantly lie in the Chess.com report. And like, it's just like the Chess.com report is probably the most embarrassing. Okay, one more thing, just to put the nail in the coffin. In the report, they quote Ken Reagan. It's just in the report, Ken Reagan is quoted, and he literally disagrees with what they wrote. Like, the report says that Ken Reagan says maybe like 40 or 50 games. They accuse me of more than 100 games. And then they include Reagan's thing, which disagrees with them, and then somehow uses that as evidence. Like, I don't understand like how that makes any sense. Like, how you're citing someone who blatantly disagrees with you, and they didn't even have. And of course, they released the Chess.com report the day before the U.S. Championship, hoping that the U.S. Championship would kick me out of the tournament. So, if you want to go there, we can go there, of all the different tactics and things that are being done. Or why am I not playing in the St. Louis Chess Club? Why is the St. Louis Chess Club not inviting me to a single tournament? I wonder why Hikaru is pressuring the St. Louis Chess Club to not invite me to a single tournament. Why has the St. Louis Chess Club not responded to my emails ever since I single cup. I played the Fall Chess Classic, and I played um, the U.S. Championship. And since then, not a single invitation came. Emails weren't replied to. Suddenly, all this happened. So, listen, I'm sorry. The whole chess world is in collusion, in coordination, and someone sort of needs to wake up and realize what's happening.
Well, I think it's getting late for you. I really appreciate your honesty. To be clear, I might take you up on the match with Brandon, and I have no ill will toward him. Also, I wasn't the only person that got crushed by the new opening. I'm looking forward to the course, though. And one last question, Hans, just to soften the atmosphere. Again, I really appreciate your honesty. I think there's a lot of questions that will hopefully get more clarity in the coming days and weeks. Your match against Anish Giri, you're leading it by 3. That match continues tomorrow. Can you very quickly summarize how many more days are left in the match and the Hans Niemann versus the World Tour in general?
Yeah, so my website, gmons.com, is sort of sponsoring the tour. And as I've mentioned, with the lack of invitations, I decided to challenge the players myself. So thankfully, I have some sponsors on my website which are supporting that endeavor. And there are 4 more days left. We have 3 days of double round classical. We finish with 6 rapid games. After that, I'll be playing a match in London against Vitugov. So if you want to come watch the match, there are tickets. Anyways, also in Paris at Blitz Society, which is chess bar. So there's even, you can come watch in Utrecht. The tickets are free here. But basically, it's sort of, I'm plus 3 points. A classical game is 3, rapid 2, Blitz 1. So it's sort of like a equivalent, like a 1-game classical lead. So yeah, I have a game in 8.5 hours. Looking forward to it. Hoping to continue to challenge even better players with this series. You should check it out on my Twitch. There'll be commentary, and go to my website, gmhans.com. It's much better than chess.com.
Well, I'm looking forward to that match. Hans, I'll see you in Paris in person, I think for the first time since our game at the Mechanics Institute.
Well, I'll make sure Brandon is there. Don't worry.
All right. Let's decide everything over the board. I'm down for some blitz matches, but best of luck to you, Hans. Get some sleep. Thanks for sharing your honest thoughts. And of course, congratulations on your win against Wesley.
Thank you. Bye-bye.